All right, let's talk about the Tripura Excise Sub-Inspector exam. If you're getting ready for it, you've probably looked at the syllabus and thought, wow, where do I even start? Well, that's exactly what we're here to do. Over the next few minutes, we're going to crack this code together, turning that intimidating structure into a clear, straightforward plan. So let's dive right in.
So are you feeling a bit swamped by that syllabus? Yeah, you're definitely not the only one. It can look like a giant mountain when you first see it, but think of this as your map to the top. We're going to break down the official blueprint piece by piece so you know exactly where to put your time and energy for the best results.
Okay, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at the big picture, the overall exam blueprint. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the written exam. You know, the multiple choice questions and the descriptive English part. And finally, we'll cover that last hurdle, the interview. Simple as that.
Let's kick things off with the overall blueprint. You know, the whole shebang. Everything in this entire selection process, everything, from the first question you answer to the final interview, it all boils down to a single number, a total of 150 marks. Yup, there it is, 150. That is the magic number. Every single hour you spend studying is all about grabbing as many of those 150 points as possible. But, and this is the important part, how are they broken down? Because knowing that, well, that's where the real strategy comes into play. And boom, here it is. This is probably the most important thing you need to see. A whopping 130 marks, that's almost all of it, comes from the written exam. The interview, just 20 marks. So right off the bat, you know exactly where this game is won or lost. It's all about that written test. So that brings us right to the main event, the written exam. Like we just saw, with 130 marks up for grabs, this is the core of the challenge. This is absolutely where you're going to secure your spot. Now, this written exam isn't just one big thing. It's really a tale of two parts. On one hand, you've got the multiple choice questions, the MCQs, and that's a massive 90 marks. Then you've got the descriptive English paper, which is worth a very, very important 40 marks. You add them up, and there's your 130. Okay, let's zoom in a bit. We're gonna really break down that 90-mark MCQ section now. Think of this as your roadmap to a huge score, because honestly, this is where smart, focused prep can really pay off and let you pull ahead. Now look at this. This is super revealing. General knowledge and current affairs are the absolute heavyweights here, both clocking in at 20 marks. Just think about that. That's 40 marks, nearly half of the entire MCQ paper, from just two areas. After that, you've got aptitude and English at 15 marks each. Seriously, this right here tells you exactly where to start studying. So you're probably asking, what on earth do they mean by general knowledge and current affairs? Well, it's a real mix. They want you to know stuff happening right there in Tripura, like with the economy, but also big national picture stuff, like what the RBI is up to. You're gonna see questions on history, geography, new government programs, you name it. The takeaway here? You need to know a little bit about a lot of things. All right, next we've got general science, which is good for 10 marks. And what they're testing here is really the fundamentals you probably learned back in school. In chemistry, think acids, bases, salts. For physics, it's all about the core ideas: sound, heat, gravity. And in biology, they're looking at things like diseases, cells, and how the body works. Then there's simple arithmetic, another 10-mark section. This is all about your core math abilities. You're definitely going to see questions on profit and loss, ratios, speed and distance, percentages, all the classics. These are the absolute fundamentals, and you've just got to nail them. There's no way around it. Okay, here's a really interesting little tidbit for you, a bit of a strategic heads up. When we look at the paper, some really common math topics like time and work and averages were actually missing. Now, does that mean you should totally ignore them? Probably not, but it does give you a pretty big clue about where their priorities have been. Moving on to the aptitude section, this one's worth 15 marks, and it's all about your logical reasoning skills. We're talking about those puzzle-type questions, ranking and order, seating arrangements, number series, coding, blood relations. The whole point of these is to see how you think, how you tackle a tricky problem from scratch. And to round out our 90-mark MCQ section, we have general English, also for 15 marks. This is your classic mix of grammar and vocab. But here's a pro tip. Really focus on idioms. Can you believe they made up 4 questions? On top of that, you've got to be solid on your reading comprehension, subject-verb agreements, and all those little prepositions and articles. Okay, we've covered the MCQs.
Now let's switch gears and talk about the other half of the written test, descriptive English. This is a totally different ballgame, and it's your chance to lock down a super important 40 marks by showing you can actually write and communicate your thoughts well.
So what do you actually have to do here? Well, it's pretty much two main things. First, you're gonna have to write an essay. The topics are usually pretty broad. Think things like health, governance, or big social issues like unemployment. Second, you'll have to do some practical writing, like a formal letter or a report. And look, they're not just checking your spelling. They want to see if you can build a solid argument, which, let's be honest, is a huge part of the actual job.
So you've made it through the massive 130-mark written exam. What's next? Well, you've reached the final boss, the interview. And you gotta understand, this isn't just another test of what you know. It's a personality test. They're trying to figure out if you're the right person for this job. It's worth 20 marks. Now, I know what you're thinking. Only 20? Compared to the written test, that doesn't sound like a lot. But trust me, those 20 marks can be the difference between getting the job and just missing out. This is where they see how you handle pressure, how you communicate, and if you're genuinely passionate about the role. So, as we're wrapping this all up, I want you to change how you see this whole thing, this exam blueprint. It's not some giant wall meant to keep you out. Not at all. It's the exact opposite. It's your treasure map. It's a roadmap that literally points to where the points are and shows you the path to success.
So there you have it. We've laid out the entire game plan, from the big 150-mark total all the way down to specific topics like idioms and profit and loss. You officially have the blueprint in your hands. So the only question left to ask is, what's your first move going to be? Your preparation starts right now.